Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Kentucky Sports Television. I'm Thomas Beisner, joined tonight by Bradley McKee. We are at Rupp Arena for the KHSAA Sweet 16, the first round, and we are hanging out because on top of it's a cool event. We like coming out here, seeing this thing. It's special. Fleming County, Bradley's school is here, making some noise.
That's right, making some noise.
Probably going to lose if they get far enough to the South Oldham Dragons. The first time here, my school, a long time coming. Coach Simpson's got the squad here. I don't want to say they're going to win the state championship, but I also don't like to lie. So they're going to win the state championship, and we know that. They're confident to play Hopkinsville later tonight. Bradley, this is a cool event. You got to play in the state tournament.
I did.
I did not. But what's this like as a player getting to come play at Rupp Arena?
Man, I was so excited. Being a UK fan, it's like the best feeling ever. I mean, you know, we came here in 98, 99. Man, all of Fleming County was here. You know, they were all here. They turned off the lights. Everybody had tickets. We were here. It's just a great feeling. I love being here. The smell of the popcorn when you walk in, the court, being on here. It's a great shooting gym, by the way. I actually had some decent games in here, so I loved it.
Oh, Kentucky hopes it's a good shooting gym when they play Florida on Saturday, but it's cool. Like you said, I mean, everybody, any school that is here, the whole school is here, the band's playing. If you've never been out here, it's a fun thing to come check out, of course, and it's really a part of like the basketball culture of Kentucky. If you play in this event, you remember it the rest of your life.
Yes, you do. I mean, there's so many people come out and watch, former UK players, former high school All-Americans. You'll come out here and watch it. I mean, I had people come to Fleming County and watch them play. They ain't seen a game in like 15 years. They moved away, they came back, you know, and now Fleming County's been in here. They haven't been here since in 13 years, so it's just a cool event. Yeah, like you said, it's good for the players to be here, the fans to come out. It's a good family event. I love it.
Hey, that's what's cool. Like when you're a player, it's probably weird, all these old people around, but it's cool to us because we're the old guys now. We're in the high school warm-up, so it's a cool. I mean, old guys hang out at games and wear warm-ups. It's not a big deal. Thursday night, of course, the biggest piece of maybe the state's basketball culture, Kentucky is taking on Georgia in Georgia, a game that they absolutely have to win. Georgia's a team in the middle of the pack in the SEC. They've pretty much beaten the bad teams and lost to the good teams for the most part. But Kentucky heads down on the road. Is that a game that maybe is a little more dangerous than we think, Bradley?
This is going to be a dangerous game. I'm pretty sure they watched the game against Arkansas and saw how timid Kentucky played with pressure. They're going to bring that pressure. They know that Ryan Harrell has struggled all year, and Paulson, God bless him, he's a great player, but the pressure, when it gets on, man, he can't dribble out of it. So it's going to be a tough game. They're going to be hyped. Like Coach Cal said, this is everybody's Super Bowl. And for Georgia, this is their Super Bowl, and they're going to try to keep Kentucky from making the NCAA tournament.
In Kentucky, actually, we have people check out mycn2.com right now, a look at Kentucky's tournament chances after all the upsets last night with Alabama going down and Missouri winning also. Kentucky is actually in a better spot. They moved up one spot. Joe Lunardi has them as the first team among the last teams out. So, I mean, they're just on the cusp. If you look at the teams in that bracket, or the four teams ahead of them, last one's at Tennessee, who they might get a chance to play in the SEC tournament, who could also lose in their final game to Missouri. Got Temple, who's in the 5th place in the A-10 right now. You go through, I think, Villanova is 9th place in the Big East. And it seems like the Cats are in a better position to get in, assuming they win at least one, maybe two of these games. Last two games, do you think they have to win both to get in, or do you think a win against Georgia puts you in a good spot?
I honestly think they need to win both games. I mean, just win it out. Just go ahead and play ball, win it out. Don't even worry about it. But I think maybe if they do get Georgia, maybe lose to Florida close at home, they can possibly still get in. But it's going to be tough for them. Basically, at this point, when you're on the bubble, you have to win games. That's just it. Boils down to it. Go on the road, win at home, and then go to the SEC tournament and pretty much make it to the semifinals.
Yeah, and they have a chance because of these losses last night. Kentucky could pretty much have a lock at this point on the number 2 seed in the SEC tournament as long as they beat Georgia. It's pretty much Kentucky right now. They're ahead of 3 teams, Ole Miss, Alabama, and Missouri. If they finish in a 3-way tie, in any combination, Kentucky's involved in a 3-way tie, they hold the tiebreaker over all those schools in a 3-way situation. In a 4-way situation, if Kentucky loses one, those teams win out, Kentucky holds the tiebreaker. They'll be the number 2 seed. The only scenario where the Cats would drop is if Missouri loses, if Ole Miss loses, and Alabama wins. And now they're in the 2-way tie because Alabama has that tiebreaker. Kentucky, how much damage can they do in the SEC? Let's say they get a 2 seed, which is a good spot.
Right.
Maybe end up playing Tennessee in that first game on Friday night. Is this a team that you think is kind of built for that tournament mentality? Because they have trouble turning it on. Do you think they can come into an environment like a tournament and turn it on?
If they do, Kentucky can be very, very dangerous. I mean, it's hard for them to all play, all 5 of those guys to play as a team.
Right.
And they have struggled all year where Missouri, they played well. And then they follow up and go to Arkansas and just flat out don't play. So basically, we're waiting to see this team really gel together.
Right.
And if they do, they can be a very dangerous team. I can see them making a heck of a run like we talked about earlier, the Brandon Knight, Josh Harrelson team. Right. If they come in and play like that, because the underdog, man, they can go to the Final Four again. But I haven't seen that team have that look in their eyes.
That killer South Oldham, Fleming County look, that fire. They're going to come in and rip hearts out and win the game. Who's the most critical player? I mean, everybody's been so up and down, and it's hard to say. Julius, it's weird. Julius Mays has been the most consistent. I think he might be the most critical just because it allows everybody to cool out a little bit. To you, who's the guy that you say, man, you have to carry this team between now and the end of the season?
I have 2 guys. One is Ryan Harrow as a point guard because you set up the whole offense and basically you get the team going. Yeah. My second guy is Alex Poitras. I think that he's a factor into Kentucky making it to the next level because he's an in-between guy. He's 6'7", he's very strong. When he's on the block, it proves that no one can stop him down there. Right. And then he shoots a high percentage behind the three-point line. So that he has to play consistently in order for this team to have a chance to run in the tournament, in the SEC tournament and in the NCAA tournament. So those 2 guys, Ryan Harrow and Alex Poitras, has to be the 2 for me, to the key to the team.
And I agree with you. And I think those guys, it starts with defense. They've got I'm telling you, the Alex Poitras weekend at Bernie's defense where he just keeps his arms down, that's not going to work. Coach Cal on his website yesterday put up a post, his favorite top 5 defensive players that he's coached. And he talked about guys that really made an impact defensively. And if he had to put together 5 guys, this is who they'd be. Take a listen.
Let me just start by shot blockers. So you'd have Marcus, Anthony, and Nerlens out there together. No one would get a shot off. So we just put those 3 out. Then to guard the ball would be Michael Gilchrist, DeAndre Liggins. Just my time here, those 4. I could put another guy out there without Marcus Camby. But if you went Marcus Camby, those 3, Anthony would have to play the 3, DeAndre would have to be your point, and Michael Gilchrist would be your 2 guard. But you'd be 6'10", 7 foot, or 7 foot, 6'11", and then you'd have 6'6" and 6'7". I don't think anybody would score on that team. Now, we may not be able to score either, but they couldn't score on us.
And Bradley, he named 4 guys. He threw Camby in there.
Yeah.
And Camby, he's not a Kentucky player. So for our purposes, we'll push Camby to the side. I think the 4 guys that he named, though, are locks. I mean, if you're looking at his teams, Anthony Davis, Nerlens Noel, Michael Gilchrist, DeAndre Liggins, certainly locks, I think.
Yes.
5th spot up in the air. I think I'd put Eric Bledsoe on there because that mentality. I mean, so much of defense is just mindset and wanting to be nasty, be tough, and basically put the other guy on the ground. And so I'd take Bledsoe for that. If you had to put a 5th guy in there, who'd you go with?
I'm going to go with Patrick Patterson. Patrick Patterson was a guy that was like on a team where he got pushed to a side, and he came out and he showed that toughness where he was just shooting the jumper, rebounding, being tough. So I think of Patrick Patterson, you don't look at him as a defensive stopper, but he's tough. So I'll take that any day. So I'll go with Patrick Patterson.
Hey, you know who's not tough from Cal's days? Mark Krebs. Our buddy Mark Krebs. He's not watching this, so he says he's not tough. Coming up after the break, Mark's in L.A. We're going to check in with him, hear his thoughts on this UK team, and talk about the mentality that goes into turning the corner and making the tournament when you're facing the NIT. That's right after this Check Your Forecast on CN2.